Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. I'm Tom Leach, along with Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting, Jim Goodman. And we're going to start doing a little something different here for the time being, see how it goes, in that we're going to take one of the pick fours each week at one of the tracks we're looking at and give you a little more detailed analysis on that, as well as a few of the top stakes races. So our pick four play is going to come from the fairgrounds. They've got a stakes-laden card, and we want to take a look at two that are late on the card, Jim, the 10th and the 11th. The 10th is the Grade 3 Col E.R. Bradley on the turf at a mile and a 16th for 4-year-olds and up. You got Chocolate Ride's going to be the favorite in there. Who do you like?
They haven't had much luck at fairgrounds this winter with the turf course. They've had a lot of bad weather, so they've had a lot of cancellations. Hopefully it will be nice in New Orleans this weekend, and they'll be able to run this. I like Chocolate Ride, but I don't think, when we get to the pick four, I don't think that he's a single. But Florent Giroux is riding well at fairgrounds. Brad Cox is 10 for 37 at the meet. And Chocolate Ride has 3 of the last 4 races with triple-digit buyers. So there's no doubt that he's going to be a strong favorite in here. But I like a couple other horses that have a shot. Flashlight at 3. You can toss the Poly run last time at Turfway in the Prairie Bayou. He probably just didn't like the Poly. But if you go back, those races before that, he ran second in the tropical turf at Gulfstream West, old Calder to Lochte, who's running really well right now. So only got beat by 4 lengths. Flashlight at 3-1 with Mena kind of intrigues me a little bit if Chocolate Ride doesn't bring his best. Skyflight to 5, Mark Cassey, Julian Le Peru, you have to throw them in there. And this horse is on a 2-race win streak. Won in Keeneland, won an allowance race back in October here, and then went to New York and won a non-graded stakes on a yielding turf course. So Skyflight's in good form right now, and you have to use him as well. I think in the pick four that I would stick with those 3, and we'll get to the analysis. We'll talk about that. But I really like Flashlight at a price in here. Chocolate Ride is my most logical horse, and I will probably box those 2. But if you get somewhere close to 8-1 on Flashlight, I might take a shot. Yeah,
I like Chocolate Ride, Flashlight, Freestyler. Going to use all of those in the pick four, but I'm going to pick Skyflight. The things you mentioned, this horse looked like it found its best form at the end of last year, at the end of a 4-year-old year. And then I like the fact, Cassie's not stabled here, and he comes in, and Le Peru's coming in. I assume it's for the Derby prep. He's going to ride in the Lecomte, but maybe it could be for this one. I don't know. For whatever reason, he's there, and he's given up a day in Florida. So I'm going to take Skyflight in here. Not a real strong opinion, so I would want to spread out in the pick four. Let's move to the 11th, the Grade 3 Lecomte. It's a step on the road to the Kentucky Derby for 3-year-olds going a mile and 70 yards. I normally go away from outside post positions, but I'm going to take Destin for Pletcher, in part because he is just so good in these Derby preps. Not always in Derby day, but in the preps. And this horse is adding blinkers. You're going to need to get out of the gate from out there, and he's adding blinkers. Pletcher's, it's a 23% angle from Pletcher. And this horse ran a 79 buyer first time out. Very impressive. And then came back and had a little bit of a wide trip the next time. So very lightly raced horse, given away from some experience. Part of it is I'm not just especially high on the more experienced ones. So I'm going to take Destin. Battle Tap intrigues me a little bit. Mo Tom, I think you got to use, but I'm just not particularly that high on him, despite the name. And Fish Trap Road, Z Royal, Uncle Walter are others. So I'd go as deep as you want in the pick four and in exactas, but I would key around Destin. I think he's got a big shot to run first or second. How about you?
Yeah, I've got a circle around Destin, but I didn't like the 13 hole. I think he bounces back from that last race, so he showed a lot of promise in his first race. And he went off at Gulfstream at 1-5 in that race, and there were only 6 horses in there. And he just kind of went around the track, second and third. And I just didn't close on the winner, and the winner won by a length and a quarter, and it wasn't that fast a race. So it's the first time he stretched out to a mile. He'll be better this time out, and they probably needed that race. He was off for a couple months before that. I like a number of horses in here, and I'm going to go deep in the pick four. If you made me pick one, I would probably pick Fish Trap Road. Alvarado for Brett Calhoun ran well in the Belmont. Probably is going to be able to lead here. And love the muddy track at Belmont, 2 back at 7 furlongs. And it's hard for a 2-year-old to run 7 furlongs, and he did it easily, won by 9 1/4, and comes back in the Sleepy Hollow and ran second to Get Jets, and he's working really well. I got a tweet the other day from somebody who watched his work at Fairgrounds and said it was really good. So Fish Trap Road has shot Uncle Walter for Michael Maker, third time out. Almost won at Churchill last time out to Synchrony. And Dolphus is an intriguing horse. Dolphus is Rachel Alexander's little brother, and he came out last time and got beat by Pinnacle Peak and Tom's Ready. A couple horses are in this race, but he was bumped at the break and didn't really have much of a shot, and finished up okay. He got to the lead and then faded, but his debut was very interesting. He just kind of plodded along, and he was very well hyped. Went off at 8-5, and I had a couple of people who called me and said he can't lose, and he almost did lose, but he was very impressive in the way that he won. He was just workmanlike for a first-time starter, and I think he's got a shot. Pinnacle Peak's got a shot, and Motom for Tom Amos lost to Aero Force and More Spirit last time out, and ran third to those two. There's no disgrace there. On a sloppy track in the Kentucky Jockey Club at Churchill. So I'm going to use all those. If you made me pick somebody on top, I would probably go with Fish Trap Road, too.
All right, let's go to the pick 4, and it starts in the 9th race, which is the Silver Bullet Day for 3-year-old fillies. Stage Play, who was so impressive in the fall here at Keeneland in her debut, lost in the stake at Churchill on Thanksgiving weekend, but I think she bounces back and wins this. So I'm going to single her. Then in the E.R. Bradley, I'm going to use Skyfly, all the 4 I mentioned, Skyfly, Chocolate Ride, Freestyler, and Flashlight. I'm going to use 3 horses in the Lecomte, Destin, Motom, and Battle Tap. And then I'm going to use Gustav Bay, Master's Degree, Fab Trips, Butcher, and the House, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9 in the last leg. Now, Gustav Bay is one I like a lot, the 2 out of that group, but it's such a cheap race. I'm not usually real keen on singling in that kind of race. If you did want to single there, then you could go deeper. I could go deeper in the Lecomte, but I'm going to take those 3 in the Lecomte, not feel overly confident, and then go a little deeper in the last leg. How are you going to play it?
Well, you can make it real simple. You can go single first leg, single last leg, and then hit the all button.
There you go. Yeah, that's interesting. That
could
work.
That's actually a good way to play a pick 4. You can get some prices that way. I agree with you 100% on Stage Play as a single in the opening leg. And the morning line's 8-5. I don't know who makes the morning line there, but if this horse goes off at 8-5, I'm gonna bet him straight up because I don't think he can beat her. She was so impressive last year. Now, she hadn't raced since November, but Giroux's on there, and these other fillies in here just don't look that good. And I think she's a single. If you don't agree with me, I think Lovable List is the only other horse, the 4-horse, lately raced in 2 for 2 at Fairgrounds, kind of jumps out at you. So that one may have a shot, but I would single Stage Play. I would use Chocolate Ride the 2, Flashlight the 3, and Skyflight the 5. I would stick with 3 in the second leg. Then I would go 6 deep in the Lecomte with Fish Trap Road the 2, Uncle Walter the 3, Dolphus the 5, Motom the 7, Pinnacle Peak the 10, Destin the 13. I'm going to go 7 deep. I'm going to add Battle Tap. I left him off. So I will go 7 deep there. And then in the last race, I would use the Gustav Bay would be my top choice as well. But I would use the House, the 5. He drops from 75,000. Master Degree with Stidham. Suspicious drop, though, from drop from 7,500. I think it's 75,000. That would be a big drop to a $5,000 race. Master Degree, Stidham does drop from a 20,000 to 5,000, which worries me a lot. But if the horse is anywhere close, he's got a shot. And then the other horse I would use is the 9-horse, and I looked at my notes here. Fab Trips. Yeah. For Carl Broberg. I always put him in. I never leave him out of a pick 4 at Fairgrounds. Yeah. He's a 30% trainer, and you've got to use him in a cheap race there. So I would go 2, 5, 8, 9 there in the nightcap and hope I've got enough to cover it.
All right, one other stakes race we want to take a look at. It's from Santa Anita, the Grade 2 La Cañada for fillies and mares 4 and up. They're going a mile and a 16th. Bird at the Wire, who I hit at a nice price recently, coming back in here. Yahilwa, horse you liked last fall that ran big for you. You got Taurus in here stretching out. Who'd you like?
I'm glad you remember those horses that I happened to pick. That horse was 20-1 that day at Keeneland in the Spinster, and she almost won.
Yes, she
won
did.
It. She got beat on neck. And it was, I did have the try that day because I put her at second and third as well, but I would have had a nice try if she'd gotten on top. And I like her here. I think she's, she was 20-1 in the Spinster last year, and she ran in the Breeders' Cup Distaff and didn't disgrace herself. She ran the middle pack and just didn't fire very well. But I think she's got a real shot here, and I'm going to take her on top. Bird at the Wire would be, if she ever gets out of the gate well, she may win by 10. You look at her trouble line, and it says sluggish to the gate and hit gate and off slow, but that's the way she runs. She comes from way out of it, and she needs a quick pace. And if Yahilwa goes out and Taurus, the 7, goes out, she could get it, and I can see her running them down in the stretch. But I'm still with Yahilwa just by a touch over Bird at the Wire. And Illuminant ran well in the Grade 2 Monrovia and has lots of upside, so she would be my third choice. But Yahilwa is my pick.
I'm going to take a little stab here on Taurus, thinking I'll get a little bit of an overlay because of the question about the distance. Speed can be really dangerous, and going to a mile and a 16th is not that sometimes not that big of a stretch out for sprinters. And she's been a horse that's been good at long sprints. Stevens rides, which I like, and I'm thinking the reason I like Bird at the Wire last time is I said I thought she might be the kind of filly that's going to be better around one turn in long sprints than around 2 turns. So I'm going to stick with that theory and think she could get over bet. And then Yahilwa, I'm just going to try to beat her because she'll be, I think, the shortest price and coming off a layoff. So I'm going to try to beat her with Taurus. But I would definitely want to use all 3 of those in a horizontal wager. But I'm going to take Taurus and then box her and key her in exacta boxes with the other 2. Best of luck on your wagers this weekend, and we'll be back next Saturday for another edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.